Okay, so now we're going to determine and represent the domain and range in relationships and functions. In this case, we're going to first look at graphs. But before we move forward, let's go ahead and define again what the domain and range are. The domain are the numbers that we can substitute into a function. That's the domain. In simpler terms, we're going to call that the x values. And the range is the output. The output out of the function. Made a mistake right here. Of the function. In simpler terms, we're going to call that the y values. Okay, so let's start by really looking at the patterns in this first graph. So the first thing that our brains will tend to notice is, oh, well, it seems that the graph is continuous. So let's go ahead and do the domain. So the domain, this graph is moving up and down, up and down. It looks like a heart rate monitor. This would be a real life example of domain and range and graphing. The domain, the heartbeats coming in, and then the function, the output, the tracking of the heartbeats, like in the movies. So we see these little symbols. So we know that the graph is going to continue going this way. That's what they mean, those arrowheads. So immediately we know that my x values are going to be all real numbers. Again, my domain here is going to be all real numbers or from negative infinity to positive infinity. And I am going to express that as this, negative infinity and positive infinity, because it's telling me to express it as an interval. So what that's telling me is as in a form of an order of pairs. That's your x, comma, y. So in that case, it's all real numbers for x. Do not make the confusion. X is not x, comma, x. I'm just telling you that based on these lines, again, I'm going to draw them on a thicker line. So pay attention. The domain is going to positive infinity and negative infinity. Negative infinity, positive infinity on x. Now let's look at our y values. For that, I'm going to choose a different color. Let's choose green. So let's go with our range. I forgot to color code a domain. Again, I'm color coding so that it can later retrieve the thinking and follow these patterns. Okay, so the range here. Common mistake. Again, we said that that's going to be green. Here's our common mistake. Look at these extremas. That's called an extrema. And this is a minima. So we first think that that's our extrema and minima points. That 4 and -2. However, that is not correct. Look at the line again. It's going to all positive numbers. Here, look at this line again, and it's going to, again, all positive numbers. So, as I said, this is not the range. But I'm sorry, that's not the range. But what I'm telling you is that this -2 back here was part of the range. So I can say this. This is my range. So my range goes from -2 all the way to positive infinity on my x values. Okay. But look at this curious pattern. This -2 is included in that negative infinity. So I'm expressing it in an order of pairs. So my solution will be from negative infinity to positive infinity. Again, the restriction will be that the range. The range is from -2 to positive infinity. I'm sorry if you guys hear me sniffing around. I'm still trying to recover, and I decided to go ahead and start recording these videos so that I could use time wisely and be more prepared for you guys when I go back. And now let's look at another example. In this example, it's a chopped up circle. We call that is the shape. That is the shape of an open circle. This is called an open circle. It's called an open circle. Okay, that could be an open circle. This could be an open circle. And this is a closed circle. Right? So it's not the same as a closed circle. These are open circles, just like that shape. I want you to be very attentive that here, those little dots are open. Okay, those little dots are open. So, with that said, that is included. So at this point, all we have to do is look at our range and domain. So that's our domain. Our domain here. Always do this so that I don't get confused. I add the X right next to the word domain, the X values. The domain for that will be from 5 open to 0 open, right? X open. I think I might have said close, but that's an open. That means it's not counted. Let me do a quick note. A closed dot means included. And you express it with brackets. And that is open interval. These are intervals. You express with parentheses. Okay, so our domain here is from -5 to 0. In our range, we do have a defined point right here. That's our defined point. And it goes here to -5. Okay, open. So our range, our y values equal parentheses, bracket 4 because it's included. Again, look at here. It touches 4. Touches 4. Comma 0. Okay, now we use union intersections. That concept, we have to join them. So we have to unify them. Now let's unify them. Unify. So what I mean is this. The union with R. And my product will be, if I'm adding them, it will be, sorry guys, I'm trying to find the colors. I want to make sure that I'm staying consistent. Equals. Pay close attention. Open -5. Comma. 4. And I close. Because it's an X, comma, Y format. Okay, that's what that means. These are hard examples. I know that if you're able to understand these, the practice will be a lot easier. Be sure to watch the videos. Okay, now we have a combination of things. Let's start by looking at patterns. Close, close, open, continue. Okay, let's go ahead and write that down. Closed, closed, open, continues to -infinity, open 5, closed 4, enclosed -5. You also could have done that throughout. So on this one, I see we're analyzing. So let's see. My domain is my x values. Sorry about that. My x values are a combination of close -5, comma, 1. Forgot about this one right here. Look at here. That 1 right here. That's a 1. Close union. I have to use a union because there's this jump right here that doesn't exist. And then my next part is open parentheses because it's an open interval. And that is 3. I forgot to label that too. My x values. My goodness. My 3 right here. 3, comma, positive infinity. That's my domain. Okay, so let me go ahead and color code that so you guys can see that. I'm gonna use yellow. No, I'm gonna use green for my x values. Okay. This -5 comes from right here. That's that -5. That 1 came from here, which is this one right here. That's close. The 3 open came from here. And this little arrowhead is that -infinity because it's going down here to -infinity. And it's also going here to infinity. Guys, I don't know why I forgot to do that, but it also goes in the x value to infinity right here. Okay, so that's my domain. My range, go ahead and erase that from there. So my range is let's start my y values. Okay. So now I'm going to start from here. I go from, I want to use, let's see, do pink. From -infinity. Okay, we're going to use that. We're going to move on this axis to that open 5. That's my tallest. That's my highest number. In the y-axis. Therefore, my answer is from -infinity to 5. And in this case, I do have to leave it like that because of this little jump. And that is it.